Brawlers, baby.
You're watching the Brawler Sports Boxing Show podcast, starring CEO Rick Muhammad. The Brawler Sports Boxing Show podcast. Let's go, Jack.
What's up, boxing fans? It's your boy Rick Muhammad, Brawler Sports Media in the building. This is the Brawler Sports Boxing Show. Just want to do a quick recap about what happened Saturday night versus Amir King Khan versus Kell Brook, if you will. Both of these guys is from England. Khan was from Bolton, England, and Brook is from Manchester, England. And they fought at the AO Arena in Manchester, England this past Saturday night on ESPN Plus. And this was a highly anticipated fight. The animosity and the anger that was built up between these two. And most of you that don't know, Amir Khan beat Kell Brook for the 2004 Olympic slot to represent Great Britain. And I think that's where a lot of that came in at, where maybe Brook felt like, hey, he didn't beat me, he lost that fight, and they robbed me. It happens in the amateurs as well as the pros. We all know this. That's politics, and that's boxing, and shit happens. So, that being said, this built up from 2004, 18 years in the making, all the way up to Saturday night. When this fight happened, February 19, 2022. Who knew? They get in the ring. Kell Brook looks amazing. Amir Khan looks amazingly in shape. It's obvious to see that Kell Brook is the bigger man of the two guys. He's a natural 147-pounder, by the way. Amir Khan, on the other hand, came up from super lightweight, 135, or lightweight, 135 pounds. Yeah, super lightweight, 135 pounds to the 147 weight class division. So you could see the hugeness and the overcast of Kell Brook's body with these guys standing beside one another doing the referee before the bell. It's crazy. Amir Khan had a good game plan. As we all know, he trained with rival and foe who stopped him early on. Was that right before the pandemic hit, with Terrence Bud Crawford and Terrence Bud Crawford's trainer, Brian Bomack. So he was back and forth between Nebraska in camp and Triple Threat Gym in Colorado Springs, if you will. You know, and I'm sure Bomack and Bud Crawford gave him all the tools that he needed and the advice and the on-the-spot corrections and whatever else they worked on with Amir Khan to try to get him through this past Saturday night. But Khan, being the fighter, has to be the one to go in there and execute those teachings, those corrections. And if that's not there, what else are you to do? That's when you know your fight plan is out the window. And on Saturday night, Amir Khan's fight plan was out the window. He came out, started well, established his jab, went to the body, back to the head. He utilized the ring to his advantage with good footwork and movement. So Brook couldn't get set and plant his feet and deliver any hard power shots or counter shots, if you will. That didn't last long, and Brook just kept coming. He came from the bell as well. Even though Amir moved nicely and established the jab, Brook walked right through him. He knew he was a smaller guy. He knew Amir had a glass chin, and he knew that he couldn't hurt Brook. Brook knew that he couldn't hurt him. So what happens in the first round? A stiff, strong, solid jab to the jaw of Amir Khan delivered by Brook. Pow! I mean, you would have thought he hit him with a power overhook, overcross right hand, straight shot at him. It was a jab, and then he came back with a left hook. Amir wobbled back to the ropes, pretty much out on his feet, had the spaghetti legs is what we call it. Legs left him, and boy, he weathered that storm and got out of that round okay. But I was like, man, if you do get stopped, don't do it in the first round. At least say you put up a fight. And with his training and conditioning, this is where you know fighters are in tip-top shape, especially being down there in Colorado Springs, running the mile high. The altitude is so thin. When you come back down below sea level, you should be in better shape than anybody. His recovery was great. He got it together. His legs got back up under. But at some point, I felt like Amir Khan never was fully recovered from those shots. He just didn't seem like it. in the second round came around, he still seemed jittery and shaky in the legs. And Brook just kept walking him down, cutting the ring off and delivering power shots, hard jabs, body work, uppercuts. I mean, he just wouldn't let go. You could tell the animosity, the anger, and probably even at the time, some hatred. You know, you could tell that adrenaline was in Kell Brook's blood, and he was out for the kill. Definitely, he was out for the kill. And he showed that. And in my opinion, Amir Khan was hurting every round, no doubt about it. Bigger guy, Brooks was a bigger guy, landed the harder power shots. His power shots alone, he threw like 154 power shots, and what landed of that, 60 something, 50. That's a rough night. That's a lot of hard hitting to the head. A lot of shots sustained by Amir Khan in this fight, and I know he felt them. It just wasn't nowhere he could run, nowhere he could hide, and I know it was going through his head like, how am I going to weather this storm and this brutal attack that this man is coming at me with? Wherever I go in this ring, I could not get away from that. And finally, by the sixth round, the referee had seen enough. But Amir Khan was just out on his feet. He was basically just covering up, taking shots, and not delivering any punches back. And Kell Brook was just welling and teeing off on him. Great call by the ref. Probably could have stopped it in the fourth or fifth round. Like I said, Khan was hurt in every round from the first on. So that was a good stoppage. Let's save Khan. Khan was a great welterweight. He's done some things in boxing. Boxing's been good to him, as well as him being good to boxing. All of that combined was good for boxing. We, the fans, enjoyed many of his fights. Don't deny that. We have enjoyed Khan. He was one of the faster, if not fastest, welterweights out there in this era, if you will. So big props to Amir Khan. You got to respect any and every fighter that gets in this ring. I don't care if they're upper echelon, elite fighters, world champs, up and coming, former world champs. If they lace those gloves up and get in that ring, respect these guys. Because, hey, we've seen some horrible deaths in 2019. Patrick Day, that was my man. We had three fighters back-to-back, month after month, 3 months consecutively in 2019, all died from going into battle and had comas and brain dead on life support, and families was pulling the plug. So, hey, respect these guys, man, because their lives are on the line. This is a deadly, brutal sport, hands down. You know, Amir Khan's done a lot of great things. We salute you, brother. Hey, good luck with your future endeavors. Enjoy your retirement and all the fruits and the successes and accolades that came with, especially family time now. That's always quality, the best time. Also, congratulations with being tapped by WBC President Mauricio Suleiman, my main man. Gave him that tap, made Amir Khan the WBC President of the Middle East. So now we're going to see some good action and good fights lined up over in Saudi and in Dubai. They have a lot of fights coming off in Dubai now, and I'm sure Amir Khan has had the dealings with those fights being made right now. So he's got a lot of things on his plate, and he's going to be okay, retired, doing great things. He's made great money. Here's the thing about Amir Khan, though. You got to love this guy, man. He backed down from no one, took tougher fights, knowing he had no business taking Canelo, but Crawford, Brook. I mean, come on, guys. He didn't turn any fights down, and he's fighting killers in this ring, and he came up from 135 to 147. So much respect to you, Amir King Khan. Thank you for all the wonderful years in boxing, all the great fights you've delivered to us, being a people's champion, a stand-up, clean-cut, honorable guy, and represented the sport well and your country. So moving right along, Kell Brook, on the other hand, I'm sure retirement is nowhere near in the making for him. He looked fantastic. He looked great. But he looked great against Amir Khan. So, that being said, he still made himself look great and marketable moving forward to be still in the quest for the hunt of another, title shot. So, that's where Kell Brook is at. He's not going anywhere. He's looking for another shot at the title. So, we're going to see him some more, a couple more times this year. I can guarantee you that. Let's just see who he's going to fight and if he can look as good as he did against Amir Khan this past Saturday night, moving forward with other big up-and-coming fights.
Brawlers, baby.